Kansaikia, Mitsukatsu and Stephanie. Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie, or Sequoia. I am from Northern Alberta, Fort Chipewyan, Mikisew Cree First Nation, and also from Driftpile First Nation, from the Treaty 8 area. My grandparents are Rita Walker from Driftpile and the late Maurice Evans from Mikisew Cree First Nation in Fort Chipewyan. I'm here tonight at this honoring our treaties round dance to celebrate our way of life, to unite our people as one, to help educate our community and ourselves on the bills that are being passed currently in the federal government that infringe upon our rights, that diminish our rights and take away our lands. This all in the name of development, of natural resource development, for pipelines such as the Keystone Pipeline that are being built without our consent. So with that, I'm going to give you a few points on why I think it is necessary to consider whether or not this pipeline should go through. I have notes, so I'm going to keep looking down. Stay with me. So first off, why I think it's important. When I think about the Keystone Pipeline, I think of these things. Think about the environment, the effects on the land and communities. I don't need to talk about the environment because we can look to people such as David Suzuki and other world-renowned experts on the environment. What I do know is there has not been a holistic approach taken towards development with respect to the environment and the people. So far, we have created unsafe environments in regard to pipelines and the oil and gas industry, specifically bitumen, extracting the tar sands. Currently, what we have here in Canada, and in Alberta in particular, is we have very little legislation, or we have no legislation that provides protection. And right now, with the omnibus bill that has been currently passed, we further have no protection on our waters with the Navigable Waterways Act. There are no penalties for companies when there is destruction to the environment. If there is an oil spill, who is held responsible? Who will be accountable to clean that up when there's been damage done to the water and the land? There is no protection for the air. There's no independent body that will say a company is exceeding their limits, their emissions. We don't have environmental standards that are like the Kyoto Accord to say whether or not, something is good, or is one good on one bad day, good the next day. With that, we talk about water quality. Existing water is currently unsafe for consumption in some communities in northeastern Alberta, especially where the tar sands are happening, such as Fort McKay First Nation. You're not able to drink the water, you're not able to bathe in the water, and you're definitely not able to be in the water recreationally. There are no safeguards, again, for this, for monitoring water levels, be it provincially, federally, or even in the states. Why is it that Albertans are okay with this when we have people that don't have access to clean water, and in other communities across our country? When we talk about water, we talk about water quality and Fort McKay First Nation. It is a dead community. They have to have water shipped in. People get open sores when they have a shower. They can't be exposed to the water for more than 3 minutes. We have a doctor, Dr. Connors, that's currently working with the community to help them stay as healthy as can be, considering they're not able to drink the water or bathe in the water. When we talk about our rights, we talk about our treaty rights, hunting and fishing. Currently, right now, people have to go outside their traditional territories to hunt. I know for my family up north, we have to go further and further into neighboring territories to hunt safe animals. Currently, fish and wildlife have cancers in them, and cancers that are showing up in our people. I have cousins that are 30 years old that have cancers. The cancer rates are disproportionately higher than compared to other places in Alberta and the country. In adults and children, including skin conditions, and immune disorders. Our quality of life has declined rapidly in the last 10 years, and the provincial government of Alberta has passed every single permit for development on on the tar sands industry. So what used to be only two companies, Syncrude and Suncor, we now have over 18 companies that extract the natural resource, and there's only one river to support that process. Everything they put under that water flows north. People here in southern Alberta don't necessarily feel the effects because the water is flowing north. What are the long-term costs and damage? Again, we are talking about destruction of our wildlife, human life, air, water, the earth. Our lands will no longer be able to be inhabitable for future generations. Our people weren't stupid when it came to the resources in the land. When we talk about the bitumen, we talk about diamonds or potash in Saskatchewan. Our elders knew. They've known for thousands of years that these resources were in the land. They knew through stories and dreams and prayers that we were not to touch those resources, or bad things could happen. And because our governments have allowed for the extraction process to happen in an unsustainable manner, we now have an unbalance in our world. And we're seeing this not just in Canada, we see it in the US, and we see it across the world. We have to find different ways of extracting our resources. We have to diversify our economy. So when I think about Keystone Pipeline and whether or not Barack Obama should approve it, I say no. Do we have the standards in place that are the greenest policies and practices? Do we have the safest pipelines that are going to tell me there's not going to be an oil leak in the pipeline, whether it be starting in Fort McMurray or southern Alberta or Kalamazoo or Texas or anywhere along the route line? If there's going to be a leak, how is that leak going to be maintained? But why should there even be a leak? Do we have the safest pipelines being built? And if that work is being contracted out in some other country where their standards are not the same as here, then why are we being okay with that pipeline being put in the ground? There should be a moratorium on development until we catch up to the standards, till we catch up to the practices, till we have other energies and resources in place, until we sustain our resources and we have those laws that will take companies accountable. We are not signatories to the Kyoto Accord. We need to be signatories to the Kyoto Accord. We need to respect the rights of Indigenous peoples. We need to respect the rights of those treaties that have been signed with First Nations both in Canada and the US. So I'm asking you to consider this when you think about Keystone Pipeline. Who is going to benefit from that pipeline? Is it you? Is it me? Is it going to be my son or daughter? Or is it going to be a few people that live somewhere else, or just a few politicians? We as Albertans don't see the revenues from that. We don't have revenue sharing currently with First Nations when it comes to the resources. Those things need to be in place before any further pipelines are being built. With that, I want to say thank you. I could be saying a whole lot more, but I've only been given a limited amount of time to share with you this really important topic. And again, just take that in consideration. Think about what's going on in Newfoundland. Think about where you live and the environment. And would you want a toxic spill in your backyard and be responsible for cleaning it up? I don't think so. Oh, Mataki, I'll say all my relations.